All right, welcome back to Bottomline East Africa. Now, South Africa's government has been rocked by allegations that a wealthy family with close ties to President Jacob Zuma may have been behind his decision to sack respected Finance Minister Nhlanhla Nene in December. South Africa's Deputy Finance Minister, Jonas Mikibesi, says he rejected an offer by the wealthy Gupta family to take up the position of Finance Minister. The minister said he rejected it since it mocks democracy.
Members of the Gupta family offered me the position of Minister of Finance to replace the then Minister Nene. I rejected this out of hand. The basis of my rejection of their offer is that it makes a mockery of our hard-earned democracy. The current economic climate presents many risks for our country, which require responsible leadership to avoid a full-blown crisis.
For someone who was part of ANC to say something like that against his own political party, I salute him, honestly.
My generation is just tired. We're just tired of everything that's going on, the corruption, the politics is just not the same anymore.
It's very sad to think about that the Guptas is running our country and not our President Zuma.
All right, meanwhile, there was drama in the South African Parliament in Pretoria Thursday afternoon as opposition leader Mmusi Maimane was ejected from the session following his repeated calls on President Jacob Zuma to resign. Zuma defended himself from allegations that a wealthy family close to him had influence over political appointments.
My question to you, Mr. President, whether the Gupta family has ever offered anybody a cabinet position in your term of office as president, or is Minister Jonas in fact lying? Because if in fact he is, or he's not, is the president willing to take accountability for the decision and resign in front of the people of South Africa?
I appointed Jonas as a deputy minister. That's what I offered Jonas. I never offered Jonas ministry. That's why he's a deputy minister. If Jonas says he was offered by the Guptas, I think you'll be well placed to ask the Guptas or Jonas. Don't ask me. Where do I come in? I had no business with that.
What is your point, Honorable Maimane?
It's a crucial point, Madam Speaker.
What is the point?
The point of order is this. The President has come here to tell South Africans that the rand was already in decline, which is not true. The fact of the matter is...
Honorable Maimane,
No.
Honorable Maimane,
The President
if you have an argument to make, this is not the way to do it, Honorable
South
Maimane.
Africans need to know.
Please take
Order,
a seat,
Speaker.
Honorable Maimane.
Order, Speaker.
Take a seat,
Order,
Honorable
Speaker.
Maimane.
Order, Speaker.
Honorable Maimane,
Order,
take your
Speaker.
seat. Honorable Maimane, I will really have to ask you to leave the chamber because you refuse to cooperate.
He's not answering the question.
Honorable Maimane, please leave the house. Please leave.
Sounds like one happy family. Now, a new survey report has rated Burundi as the unhappiest nation on earth. The report by Sustainable Development Solutions Network and the Earth Institute at Columbia University also placed Kenya as the happiest country in East Africa. Syria and Afghanistan among the least desirable nations to live in, while Denmark was ranked the happiest nation on earth. Now, the World Happiness Report 2016 ranked 156 countries based on their happiness levels and was released in preparation for the World Happiness Day on March 20th. Mark Namaswa tells us more.
To a stranger, the swagger and confident gait of Burundian President Pierre Nkurunziza portrays the demeanor of a commander-in-chief of perhaps one jolly republic in East Africa. But a recent survey states otherwise. Burundians are in fact among the most hopeless lot. The latest World Happiness Report 2016, which listed 156 countries, placed Burundians among the unhappiest lot not only in Africa, but in the unhappy league of citizens in war zones like Syria and Afghanistan. The report by Sustainable Development Solutions Network and the Earth Institute at Columbia University studied happiness indicators pegged on a country's GDP per capita, income levels, social freedoms and life expectancy and corruption, where Denmark emerged the happiest nation. Burundi has experienced a battle zone environment since President Nkurunziza opted to cling on to power, warded off an attempted coup and embarked on an opposition crackdown despite government assurance when African heads of state stepped in.
The government will continue the steps it has begun to open up space for free political activity by the people of Burundi and ensure the freedom of the media.
And this week, an unhappy Nkurunziza filed a defamation suit against an unknown person who posted a video purportedly showing his soldiers on a murder campaign in Karusi province, northeast of Burundi. It was later established the video was shot in a West African nation. But Burundi remains a volatile state, its humanitarian crisis churning over 250,000 refugees spread out in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Rwanda, Tanzania, Uganda and Zambia. Even UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon's visit did little to calm the situation. And despite international outcry, Nkurunziza has stayed put, running against an opposition that withdrew from the polls in July 2015 and claiming almost 70% of the vote. And the happiness report deduced from between 2,000 and 3,000 people per country might give a glimpse of what common Burundians wake up to every day. Mark Namaswa, KTN News.
All right, now yesterday we briefly highlighted militia groups in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo who killed 2 park rangers in one of the world's last sanctuaries, that's Virunga Park. Zinzi Kipiku now takes a look at how park rangers get help from bloodhounds to track poachers and kidnappers inside the vast Virunga National Park in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
In the Democratic Republic of Congo's Virunga Park, rangers are running dogs through their paces. The dogs, comprising of bloodhounds and cocker spaniels, are the latest addition in the fight against poaching in the vast and dense park in eastern DRC. Congo Hounds, the first program of its kind in Central Africa, uses dogs to sniff out bullet casings, ivory and track poachers. With only 250 rangers to cover 7,800 square kilometers, the canine noses are giving rangers an advantage, particularly when it comes to sophisticated elephant hunters who can divide, divert and cover their tracks. Park authorities are hoping that the canine unit will help protect vulnerable species from poachers.
I was directly assigned to the special team of the canine section and I became spellbound by the mission those dogs execute in the park. It really touched me, especially since I did not like dogs before.
Virunga, a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1979, is one of Africa's most biologically diverse parks. More than 218 species of mammals, 706 species of birds, and 100 species of reptiles are spread over 3,000 square miles of lush tropical forest and snow-capped mountains. However, the densely forested environs around Goma are also home to a number of rebel groups that compete for control of land and Congo's vast natural resource wealth.
Nature has to serve everyone. If we cut all the trees here, there would no longer be life. So when we're willing to die for nature, it's not the end of the world. We sacrifice ourselves for others, and it is beautiful to die for someone else than just to die like that.
Mountain gorillas are gentle giants that range across the borders of Uganda, Rwanda, and the Democratic Republic of Congo in Africa. These primates are considered extremely endangered, with fewer than 720 in existence. Although a lot of effort has gone into protecting the mountain gorilla, the elephant population has not fared as well.
The elephant population we haven't been so successful on, so that one's continuing to decline at the moment. I mean, we're trying very, very hard to address that, but the price of ivory is an enormous challenge to overcome, given you know, the number of uncontrolled armed men in the park.
You found him? You found him? Yes.
Despite the official end of the conflict in Congo, the eastern borderlands remain a volatile patchwork of rebel strongholds and militia-controlled zones. Armed clashes between rival armed groups are a regular occurrence, which limits the rangers' ability to patrol and provide cover for poaching. Zinzi Kibiku, KTN News.
All right, Malawi has started a test program that will use drones to improve access to HIV testing now for barriers. Now, various factors including poor roads and high transport costs in remote areas often result in delays in testing that can prevent access to vital antiretroviral treatment. Trick Singado with the details.
Unmanned aerial vehicles, otherwise known as drones, are the latest addition to the fight against HIV infections among infants in Malawi. The addition is to help cut down on the time it takes to test for HIV in infants. Screening of HIV in babies requires special lab tests. For now, the research, which is being run by the UN Children's Agency, UNICEF, is using simulated samples. The first successful test flight recently completed a 10-kilometer route traveling from a community health center in the Kamuzu Central Hospital Laboratory in the capital Lilongwe. Drones have been used in the past for surveillance and assessment of disasters, but this is the first known use of the technology on the continent for improvement of HIV services. UNICEF partnered with US-based drone company Martinet to develop the program.
There are many delays in the continuum of getting HIV-positive children on treatment. They need to come in early for testing, ideally before 2 months, between 6 and 8 weeks. Their tests, the dried blood spots, need to get from the health facilities to one of the 8 laboratories nationwide.
Agnes, a mother who tested positive for HIV, is on her way to the community health center to get her baby tested. Progress has been made, and today 90% of pregnant women know their HIV status. Agnes says she hopes the test results will turn out negative for HIV.
It's a very painful experience for me because as it is, I don't know whether my child got the disease from me or if he's okay.
Malawi has a national HIV prevalence rate of 10%, still one of the highest in the world. An estimated 1 million Malawians were living with HIV in 2013 and 48,000 died from HIV-related illnesses in the same year. Many mothers living in remote areas are not able to access a health facility for testing because of poor roads and lack of transport. Currently, it can take almost 2 months to get a sample from a healthcare facility to an equipped lab and for the results to be returned.
The results, once they're available, then need to be brought back to the health facility and communicated to the mother. And while many efforts have been made to shorten each leg of that continuum, we need to do better. Mothers are still waiting up to 2 months for those test results, and that can be a very long period in an HIV-positive infant's life.
In 2014, about 40,000 children in Malawi were born to HIV-positive mothers. According to UNICEF, every year around 10,000 children die from the virus, a number the agency says could be tackled with early diagnosis and quality medical care. Trix Ingado, KTN News.
Well, Tanzania's President John Magufuli and his wife made a surprise call to a popular morning program on Clouds TV. Magufuli said he was a big fan of the show before passing the phone over to his wife Jeanette, who also congratulated the program presenters. They also asked a question about the station's campaign to encourage youth to create opportunities for themselves. Now, it was a big surprise for the presenters and viewers of the show to take the president's call. Mr. Magufuli, who came to power in October, has not given any interviews to local or foreign media. Well, now, it might have subsided, at least for now. Tanzanians, that which christened Magufulicization, essentially a very connected, caring and responsible president. Now we saw him responding to the needs of his people in hospitals, giving instructions to state offices to be prudent in the handling of national resources. And of course, most visually moving of them all,